The good's out there. I met this girl named F 3 years ago. We kind of fancied each other, but we lived in different cities, so we didn't pursue anything. A couple of months later, she got a boyfriend. I felt a little hurt, but I wasn't all that bothered since nothing could have happened between us. 3 years later, I decided to text her, as I had moved to the same city as her. We got chatting away, and we went on a friendly date going bowling. She's still in that same relationship, but whatever. We ended up sleeping together that very night. It became a thing where we were meeting up secretly every week or two, for 5 to 6 months. At first, I will admit that I was only in it for a bit of fun, but after the first 2 dates, I ended up really liking her. You could say I set up a trap there for myself. She also admitted, however, that she also started having subtle feelings for me too. You'd think she may not have felt fulfilled in her current relationship, which would make sense why she would cheat. But she's been telling me she's delighted in her ongoing relationship, and that she loves him, that she thinks he's great overall and wouldn't break up with him for any reason. She wasn't telling me this to make me jealous or anything, she was truthful about it. I could see it whenever they'd sometimes chat with each other on the phone when I was right next to her in bed right after we had slept together. We haven't met for about a month now because of the pandemic, but we have been talking quite seriously about this whole situation. She is contemplating never to see me again, which left me devastated. Overall, I feel very hurt in this whole thing, even though I'm just her side thing and I know I kind of put myself in this situation. I feel kind of bad for the guy she's in a relationship with. He has seen our texts from her phone before, 3 years ago. So, he knows of me but doesn't know me and her have been meeting up. She promised him she would stop texting me. That obviously didn't happen. I've been very tempted just to text the guy and tell him about everything, how much of a crappy and immature his girl is and has been seeing me for the past 5 months. I'd also mentioned to him that she has also cheated on him with some other guy she met on holiday, which she claims to feel guilty about too, but I feel like I'd be acting upon revenge, hate and hurt. And I know the news would devastate him. The one thing that is stopping me from texting him is that it just feels evil to ruin what they have going, and I could potentially be ruining something good that they have. I'm not here to be judged. This is my first time here, and I felt like sharing this as I'm going through quite a dark period in my life. This situation has been playing on repeat in my head 24/7 and it's making me more depressed and anxious by the day. She really does love him and isn't cheating on him out of spite or anything or because she doesn't feel fulfilled. I'm pretty sure she's just insecure about herself and, as you said, lacking integrity. I agree that I'm also lacking integrity, but it has come to a cost, where I'm feeling miserable, depressed and low, and have definitely learned my lesson here. It just annoys me that a girl like her would just get away with a perfect relationship, while still doing messed up things. Other than that, they both seem really happy, as long as he doesn't know. Which is why I'm hesitating to tell him, cause if I did, the only outcome of this would be causing another 2 people feeling miserable, and a possibly good relationship would be ruined. Well, she's willingly wanting to give me up at the moment, which has just made me feel like a piece of crap. I just don't know if I should give all of this up and move on and say to myself it's not my problem whether he gets hurt in the future. It almost makes me sick that I have the power to wreck their relationship, as they seem to be in a fairly healthy relationship. I'm cutting her off for either way, whether I tell him or not. I'm most likely not going to tell him and just back away from the situation completely, to be honest, and get some headspace from all this. My comment: take a moment and put yourself in the BF's position. If you were him, wouldn't you want to know? I would guess, yes. Take a look at this girl. She is a self-absorbed individual that deals in deceit and using people. She has no integrity or moral standards. She is basically using both of you to satisfy her own personal needs and agenda. Without a doubt, tell him and dispose of this piece of trash like the human refuse she is. Learn from this experience and strive not to put yourself in a similar position again. OP responds: if I was in his shoes, I'd want to know for sure. She has told me she's felt bad and guilty about all this, but I can tell she's a bit incapable of taking a strong, strict decision. Regardless, if she's feeling this way, she may have learned a lesson as well, hence why she doesn't want to see me anymore, and she may not cheat again in the future and their relationship might go on to something blissful. I'd honestly feel very guilty by telling him and would screw me up a little in the head, as I really can't think rationally during the depressive days. I have decided that I don't want anything serious to do with this girl. I'm going to be done with her and stop talking to her within the next week, whether I tell her BF or not. So, I wouldn't care if I killed by chances with her. But you're right about you saying that she has trusted me on this and would feel betrayed by me. I just feel it's not my business to interfere with someone else's relationship, and I should just try and move on, even though it has ruined me inside, and have built up this anger and hurt within me, and low-key believe she doesn't deserve what she has. What if she's learned her lesson? She never cheats again and they go on to have a wonderful marriage and kids. Yes, she cheated, and it's in the past. What's done is done, and she's a B for doing that. But mistakes happen. I won't have anything to do with her in the next week, whether I tell him or not, but whatever. I have great concern for the guy that she's in a relationship with, only just now, of course, before I was too immature and inconsiderate to realize. Which is why I am mostly likely taking the decision to walk away from this mess and not message her BF. I could be revengeful and message him everything that she's done and then walk away, but I think that'll just cause even more of a mess, and it's almost like taking 2 other people down with me, you know? I've obviously learnt my lesson here and won't be dealing with any girl who's in a relationship. Besides, I'm not the only one who knows she's cheated. Her sister also knows that she's cheated on her BF. Not that that makes a difference, but I'm just not the revengeful guy that wants to see more souls suffer in all this. Call me weak and coward or whatever. I regularly have STD checks, and had one a month ago, and was all clean. I do realize I'm a villain here. If we put things in perspective though, she's the devil and I'm a pawn in this. I'd give her the chance first to come clean with her BF, and if she doesn't, I may just tell him. I knew ages ago that I didn't want a future with her in the first place. I was just letting my emotions get the worst of me and be a bit selfish. I do agree on the treat others as you'd like to be treated. This way I'll both respect others and even I. This whole story has given me trust issues for anyone. I'm 100% walking away. It's whether I tell the guy or not on the way out. If I don't tell him, the only outcome would be me backing away from this and hopefully recover and their relationship turns out great, instead of telling him and making him have trust issues for the rest of his life and feel betrayed. It is very likely that he'll never find out if I don't intervene, so I might be saving him a lot of hurt by not saying anything, and hopefully the girl comes to her senses. I think I knew from the start that I was just her McDonald's burger, and at first, I honestly didn't care. I was fine with it. But this was timed in parallel with the start of my depression, and my lack of judgment was beyond bad. My self-respect dropped massively, my confidence with it, and I became desperate. Which is why I hang on to her and was unable to let go, as it felt like the only love I was receiving at the time, since I wasn't loving myself. Honestly, a hug from her, or maybe even anyone, was what I was needing to stop myself from having suicidal thoughts and having a distraction from daily negative thoughts. I am 100% going to stop talking to her for good. You don't need to worry about that. I really don't want anything more to do with her. I just hope I stick to this decision and get the help I need. It's honestly going to be real hard telling the guy. I know you say I was the one who did something terrible to him, but I've been a pawn in all of this, and she's the one who has really done something really bad to him. It could have been another guy she could be sleeping with. I'm not saying I've been a good pawn, however, in all this. I do take responsibility as well for all this and do believe she may have never cheated with anyone if it weren't for me messaging her. I think I knew where all of this was going to end up, and I just wanted to drag it out and enjoy as much as possible without picturing how it would end. I wouldn't think about her boyfriend during bonding, neither did she. It was all in the moment. I realized it was really messed up after we had just slept together. She'd be texting her boyfriend and saying things like "Good night, love you babe." At first, I thought I was getting the better of the deal. However, I think all of these insecurities popped up, and deep down I wanted a serious relationship. All of this started when I started becoming very depressed as well. Me seeing her was not related to me feeling depressed, but it certainly didn't help. I started not loving myself, having no self-respect, lost all confidence, and I felt like the only love I was receiving, even if it was in the form of a simple hug, was from her, even though this was completely delusional from me, and was not the right love I should be receiving. But I couldn't help myself. I was in a bad place, and I still am. I initially didn't really fancy her, but after all this self-hate started, I almost began persuading myself that I liked her, but deep down I didn't. It may sound silly and complicated, but I felt hurt by her when she didn't like me that much or wasn't that keen to see me, but a rational thinking guy would just not care a toss and not be sensitive about it. She was worried and confused that she started liking me too, but she liked her BF way more and wouldn't have given up him for me. And yes, I did tell her that I really liked her. She also told me she liked me too, obviously not as me though. And she may have been worried that I'd talk to her BF about all this. It almost upsets me that she can get away with it and doesn't feel that guilty about all this and will carry on with her normal happy life. But I'm not one to ruin that and tell her boyfriend. Otherwise, I'd be acting fully upon revenge and bring 2 more people down with me to misery world. I do realize I have made this a much bigger deal than what it really is in my head, and that I should just let it go for good and move on. I think the sheer fact that he was a stranger to me, I didn't feel bad, and I forgot that he was a real person there being cheated on. But I have finally realized that he's a regular dude after all, and that could be one day where his GF is fully cheating on him. During these depressive days, I feel like anything more I do that's related to this relationship or anything more I do to try and fix this, it seems to be making me worse and also the situation worse. Even going on this forum has made things worse. It seems to be a slippery slope, which is making me believe I should give up and stop completely. If I was him, I'd like to know, but the more I do and say, the more misery I'm going to bring to myself and to the couple. It's most likely going to wreck that guy apart and give him massive trust issues and not give a chance to the girl to learn from her mistakes. She probably doesn't realize the damage she's causing. She's only 19, but maybe in a couple of years she might become mature enough and not cheat, and maybe even own up to him. Everyone did dumb crap when they were 18 to 20, heck even in their early 20s. It's a confusing time for some more than others. I know 18-year-olds who really have their crap together and have built their own businesses. Also, I do know some details about the relationship, but I do lack a lot of info. I do know her family really likes him and they do a lot of family trips together. She says their trust has grown stronger after him seeing our messages 3 years ago, as they had a big argument, but settled things and she promised she wouldn't talk to me again. I don't know what their relationship really is like. What I do know is they love each other and don't argue. She isn't abused or anything. They definitely don't have an open relationship. He seems like a conservative, traditional guy that wants to marry her and have kids in the future, and yes, I don't think he has any idea that he's being screwed over. I have gathered she loves a bit of attention from guys but won't go after it. She feels uncomfortable and unsure about herself when she's complimented, and needs double assurance like you've got good runner's legs you know, and she'd reply, is that good? And then carry on trying to feed her satisfaction system by then asking what is it that's good about them exactly? What else do you think about them? I don't believe you. Anyway, that's just an observation. My comment, two to tango, two to cheat. Fault lies where it lies, you have recognized that. Going to NC, good idea. She is just using you as a plan B. To tell or not to tell, that is a moral integrity issue only you can answer. Most BS when asked to say they would want to be told. Very few say they wouldn't like to be informed. If she is cheating on him with you, she could be cheating on both of you with another. If you ended up together, would you be comfortable if she had to work back late, have happy hour drinks after work? Story 2. My husband and I have been married for 12 years. I am 41, he is 43, we have 2 boys 11 and 14. We moved to Australia from England 4 years ago. Just to make it clear, I love my husband and always will. We are slowly but surely drifting apart. We have come to the end of the line and I just don't know what to do, so we both ignore this fact and just continue happily as if we are fine. It is the easier option to take at the present. I am a nurse working 5 nights a week. My husband comes home from work at 6 p.m. He is straight out at 7 p.m. for sports that he does 5 nights a week. So, he comes in, I go out and vice versa. This had been going on for a long time. In 2010, the last week in December, I booked a hotel for us all by the beach. It was a holiday for us all. Thought it would be nice for Christmas and my 40th. As we have no family here, it would be just us. On my birthday, I was waiting for a card and perhaps a bunch of daffodils. As usual, nothing. Not even a card from my husband or kids. I am not a materialistic person by any means, but I have never felt so hurt ever. This day was the start of me seriously thinking about my future. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. I have frequently not received a card for Mother's Day, anniversary, Valentine's Day, etc. My husband states I am not a card person. He has recently returned from a trip home to see his family and he came home with a box of stuff. My stuff was all mixed in there. As I was going through them, he had brought over some old letters and cards, Valentine from an ex-girlfriend. Not one of mine. When we got married, we had already had a son, 18 mths. We have never had a honeymoon. My husband would not even think of the idea. In all the years we have been married, he has never once cooked me a meal. Perhaps a bacon sandwich. I feel unloved, unwanted, and not needed. A couple of years ago, I was in touch with an ex via FB. We did chat frequently. I had mixed emotions. He lived in another country and was happily married. It was a great feeling of someone actually wanting to have a conversation with you. It was not to go and have a full-blown affair, just someone to talk to. So today, I was looking forward to having the day off. I got up and the house is a mess. My kids' rooms are disgusting. Now I have sat them down and asked them to clean their rooms. I have cried and asked them to clean their rooms. I have shouted angrily and asked them to clean their rooms. Still nothing is done. I have explained that I need help in the house as I work a lot. All I have asked them to do is to clean their rooms and take the trash out. We have missed the trash man as they have not taken it out for 2 weeks now. I was thinking today I have had enough. I feel that nobody really cares about me at all. I have never felt so lonely and sad in my life. I have no family here and my friends are just work colleagues. I was looking at places to stay in a hotel but have come to the conclusion I might as well stay here. So, what do I do? Do I stay in a marriage that my heart feels like a stone? Or do I leave? I don't even want to have counseling as I just think we have gone past that. Do we stay together for the sake of the kids, then leave as soon as they leave home? Well, 6 months down the line, no change whatsoever. I know I am at fault, but we still have not had the conversation. I am slowly simmering. One day to reach boiling point. I honestly just don't care anymore. If anything, husband and kids just get lazier and lazier. I cannot remember the last time I had a hearty laugh. Except in work maybe. We last went out for dinner in March for his birthday. I am off with the kids to the UK for 3 weeks soon. Maybe this will do us some good. And so, it goes on. Update is, I have just found out that my husband has been having an affair with a work colleague for 6 months. I had no idea. I feel nothing, numb. I must take some of the blame. It takes 2 to make a relationship. However, I want a life, but not with him. Funny how life works out. He must have been feeling the same. I found out by accident that my husband has been having an affair. I went through some emails that had been going back and forth. I went insane. I am in England on holiday with my kids and we live in Australia. He works for an international company, a well-known company. In my fog of disbelief, hurt, anger, and pain, I posted on the company's website the name of my cheating husband and name of his other woman who also works at the company. It has caused a bit of a stir, as you can imagine. I also sent a message to his boss and MD. My husband is remorseful. I would have had no idea an affair had taken place if I did not come across the emails. I called him and he admitted it. Anyway, the point is, he is probably going to lose his job over this. However, he has asked me to write a groveling apology and state that I have been mistaken and that no affair had taken place. If my husband cannot get a job, we will lose our house. I will probably write an apology, public, knowing that it is not true. His colleagues are going to think he is married to some crazy. However, is this better than him losing his job? As he is in Australia and I am in the UK, it is getting difficult to communicate. The other woman worked in a previous company where he worked. This is where the affair begins. He changed companies and she followed. He is a business development manager. She now has a post as a business something in the same company. I said to him, did you give her a reference to join your company? He said no, but I recommended her. Please, is it me? He said she has got 2 months left on her contract, then she will be going, so just to wait until then. He has a meeting tomorrow with the MD, so not sure as yet about the job situation. Why is he so stupid? He thinks he is making me feel better. I love him very much and want us to stay together, etc. However, something inside of me has dried up. I cannot forgive him or trust him ever again. Not too keen on going to counseling. Where do we go from here? Does time make things easier? Unfortunately, they still work together. My husband has stated that he tries to keep a distance and only contacts her if needs be. Very difficult to cope with but powerless to do anything about it. Her contract finishes in Feb 2013. Update: we have had some counseling and are trying to get on track. Things have been great. He deleted his FB account and has given me the password to his email address, well, one of the 3 that he has. He reopened his FB account yesterday for work purposes. I looked at his email account that he has given me the password for and it says from someone called Allison. Well, hello. I thought you had deleted me. How's things? Happy New Year. Hope to catch up with you after jetting to Wa. I confronted my husband upset with this. He laughed and said there was nothing in it and that she is a friend from work. Prior to me exposing his affair, I have never ever been the jealous type and have always trusted him 100%. I just don't trust him as far as I could throw him. He thinks that I am overreacting, etc. It's been 4 months since I discovered my husband's affair. It has ended and we are trying to work things out. Things have been okay, however, I am having a bad day today. He still works with the other woman. He just doesn't see a problem with this. He said it is over and that's that. Basically, I should stop worrying. He did not give me a Valentine's card this year, which is the first time in 17 years. Does this mean anything? I gave him one but he just put it in the top drawer. Why, some days I am positive and hopeful, then the very next day I want to leave. This happens all the time to me and I just can't seem to organize my thoughts. We have had some couple counseling, about 6 sessions, but it didn't seem to help. My husband's attitude is we should just look forward, not back. Revenge affair. He is trying, etc. However, he still doesn't get it. I know it is not sensible or grown up to have a revenge affair, but it is how I feel. He has already fatally injured our marriage, so surely, in my opinion, is the only way. I know perfectly well what a low life he has been. However, to my knowledge, this is the first time that he has strayed, like having an affair. Now he does appear to be very remorseful, and he has stated that he will never, ever do anything like this again to hurt me, etc. It seems to me that a lot of views are divorced straight away. I think everyone deserves a second chance. I would want one if it was the other way around. Now if it happens again, then I will go down that road. I will never forget it and I can't yet find it in my heart to forgive him. Hopefully one day I will. I too just don't feel like it at all now. I just wanted him to feel just a tiny bit of the pain that I have been feeling, for him to get a taste of what he has caused me. But that feeling has passed or passing. Update: my life had changed forever after I found out by accident that he had been having an affair for 2 years. Words or feelings cannot describe how I felt, perhaps shipwrecked. If my husband could have an affair, then so could anyone. Not in a million years would I have guessed. So, 1 year on, we are still together. He is sorry and we are getting on great. However, what I will say is that my husband will never ever have 100% of me again. Ever. I have learned a lot about myself during the past 12 months. I know that I can manage on my own. I love my husband and always will, but the treachery will always be there no matter how much we both try to ignore it. So, whether it is day 1, post-D-Day, 12 months, 1 for 20 years, I will never forget. My life fell apart in a heap after finding out about my husband's affair. That was in 2012. We had a huge mortgage and just could not afford to separate even if we wanted to. Fast forward to now. Things have been okay. However, last week we sold our other house so can virtually pay off our mortgage. This gives us choices. For me, I have been very quiet and pondering my future. Not a day goes by when I think about the affair. I am still even now shipwrecked. When we got married 17 years ago, I had his great-aunt's wedding ring. About 2 years ago, I thought that his sister should have it to keep it in their family. I have asked a few times since then if my husband can get me another one. He has yet to do so. I am not interested in an expensive one, just a token of his commitment. He has never worn one. I will never come to terms with his affair. I can't forgive him. We are just plodding along as normal. I know we need to talk, just not sure I want to. 4 years later, I need to get away. As I live in Australia, I would like to go to the Great Barrier Reef to snorkeling, etc. Thinking about a week. Middle of April perhaps. Happy to go alone, but just wondering if anyone feels like coming. No idiots. Just want a bottle of wine watching the sunset with anyone who understands the hurt of an affair. Male or female, I don't care. Just company. I'm female 47 and just feeling lonely. Obviously pay for us. Nutters need not apply. Half a year later. Divorce coming final soon. I am feeling so down and alone. I'm drunk on a beautiful Australian afternoon. I'm sitting on my balcony and thinking, how the hell did I get here? My life is worse than the worst life imaginable. I would jump in front of a train today, but I just would feel sorry for the train driver and wouldn't want to make him feel bad. Will I ever feel normal again? Few years later. In summary, we got divorced eventually in 2018. I honestly thought I would never be the same again. I left the marriage with nothing. Walked away when the last kid left home with absolutely nothing. I gave everything to him, starting out again at 48. I thought I would never be the same. However, I absolutely love my life on my own with my dog. I love my job and go out socially with friends a lot. My ex, on the other hand, is depressed, alone, and remorseful. I really feel sorry for him, but you can't have a relationship without trust. I can remember coming on here all the time thinking, how the hell am I going to carry on? Looking back, I definitely could have got half, but I just did not want to be emotionally drained anymore. My comment: I get it, divorce isn't fun. There is always a light at the end of tunnel. We just have to be patient.